What if I told you that there's a Chinese company working hand in hand with the Chinese government to secretly take over the world? This company's vast resources and unparalleled influence have allowed it to penetrate every single corner of the global market, from tech to internet to politics, and as its power grows, so too does the Chinese government's control over the world. Welcome to the Seeker's Edge, where we seek knowledge that'll give you an edge in life. So, which company are we talking about? I know is the burning question on your head. So, it's Tencent, a company hailing from China, which started off as a small startup with a meager $1,500 in its bank account. Fast forward to today, it's cemented its place as the 10th largest company in the world, with a staggering total value exceeding $1.6 trillion. Through its immense influence and dominance in the tech industry, Tencent has conquered the internet and gaming industry. Despite its colossal success, very few people are aware of Tencent's story and the factors that led to its meteoric rise. Tencent was established in 1998, and soon after it launched its first product, OICQ. To gain popularity, the company used unethical tactics, such as stealing the name of a foreign competitor. Despite its questionable methods, Tencent grew rapidly, almost bankrupting itself multiple times. However, venture capital firms in the CCP provided financial support, helping Tencent navigate through its early challenges. In its first year, Tencent's instant messaging app, QQ, attracted 1 million users, and by the following year, it had amassed 50 million users. With such a large user base, Tencent took over the instant messaging market in China. It continued to expand its offerings by adding services such as shopping, social media, and antivirus software to QQ. Through these additions, Tencent created a comprehensive platform that could cater to its users' various needs. Tencent's success was driven by its ability to create products that were tailored to the Chinese market's unique preferences and habits. The company's focus on the Chinese market allowed it to capitalize on the country's growing middle class, which was increasingly turning to the internet for socialization, entertainment, and shopping. Tencent's growth in China paved the way for its global expansion, but it also caught the eye of the Chinese government. Within just 5 years of its founding, Tencent and the CCP began building a close relationship that would later become a cornerstone of Tencent's success. The partnership between Tencent and the CCP allowed them to control both markets in China and technology for global dominance. The Chinese government recognized the potential of the internet and social media as pivotal to their success, and they used Tencent to push out competitors. Tencent, in turn, used monopolistic tactics to bully opponents into submission. For example, Tencent released its own version of a popular Chinese antivirus app and made QQ stop working if it detected the competitor's app. These actions helped Tencent to consolidate its position in the market and to eliminate any potential competition. The CCP protected Tencent by providing it with various advantages, such as preferential treatment and regulatory protection. This support allowed Tencent to expand its reach and influence, becoming an extension of the CCP. In return, Tencent has been a crucial tool for the CCP's censorship and propaganda efforts. Tencent's deep ties with the CCP have also been a source of concern for investors and international governments, particularly in the wake of China's increasing censorship and tightening control over its tech industry. The company's close relationship with the CCP raises questions about Tencent's autonomy and whether it'll prioritize the interests of the Chinese government over those of its investors and users. International governments are also concerned about this partnership. Tencent's centralized structure and close relationship with the Chinese Communist Party have given rise to concerns over the potential threat to global security. The company's been accused of helping the Chinese government increase its global surveillance, censorship, and control, as well as engaging in dangerous tactics to achieve its goal of global dominance. In response to these concerns, several governments have taken steps to limit Tencent's reach and influence, but it hasn't stopped the growth of Tencent, as it's now the 10th largest company in the entire world. As the company's power and influence continues to, just grow, it remains to be seen how the world's going to react to its actions and what measures will be taken to limit that reach. Because Tencent has immense economic and political influence, and with the backing of the Chinese government, the company could really, honestly and truly, take over the world. Let's explore what Tencent actually owns. Only then can you fully understand how far the tentacles of this beast reach. Its WeChat app, which has over 1 billion monthly active users, is a crucial tool for communication, social networking, and e-commerce in China. Tencent's influence extends far beyond China, as it's adopted a strategy of global dominance through control of foreign companies and ownership stakes. One of Tencent's key strategies for global dominance is the acquisition of foreign gaming and social media companies. In recent years, Tencent has invested heavily in companies such as Riot Games, Epic Games, and Supercell, among others. These investments give Tencent a significant stake in these companies, and allow it to exert control over their operations. For example, Tencent's investment in Riot Games has enabled it to push for the inclusion of more Chinese elements into the popular game League of Legends. The Hearthstone tournament incident is a prime example of Tencent's power in the gaming industry. In 2019, a professional gamer was banned from a Hearthstone tournament after expressing support for the Hong Kong protests. Blizzard, the company behind Hearthstone, was heavily criticized for its decision, but it was later revealed that Tencent had a 5% stake in the company. The incident highlighted the potential dangers of Tencent's influence on the global gaming industry and its ability to control public opinion. Tencent's ownership stakes also give it significant influence over public opinion. This is particularly evident in the social media space, where Tencent's investment in WeChat and its acquisition of a 5% stake of Reddit has raised concerns about censorship and data privacy. In 2019, Tencent had led a $300 million funding round for Reddit, a very popular social news aggregation and discussion website, giving it a 5% ownership stake. Similarly, in 2018, Tencent invested $150 million into Discord, a communication app used primarily for gamers, giving it a minority stake in the company. One of the most significant concerns regarding Tencent's ownerships of these platforms is the potential impact on content moderation policies. Reddit has long been known for its hands-off approach to moderation, allowing communities or subreddits to largely self-regulate. However, since Tencent's investment, Reddit has tightened its content policies and has removed some subreddits that were deemed to be promoting hate speech or violence. Critics have argued that Tencent's influence may have played a role in these changes, as the company has a history of censorship in China. In addition to concerns about content moderation, there are also potential risks associated with Tencent's ownership of user data. Reddit, with over 52 million daily active users, generates a vast amount of personal data, including browsing history, search queries, and user-generated content. Tencent's ownership stake in the platform raises concerns about how this data may be used or potentially exploited by the Chinese company. WeChat, which has over 1 billion users, has been criticized for censoring content that's critical of the Chinese government. And there are concerns that Tencent's ownership stake in Reddit could lead to similar censorship on the platform. Very, very possibly. Tencent's power has also been evident in its dealings with Western companies like the NBA. In 2019, the NBA came under fire for a tweet by one of its general managers expressing support for the Hong Kong protests. The tweet sparked outrage in China, and the NBA was forced to apologize. Tencent, which has a $1.5 billion deal with the NBA to stream its games in China, played a significant role in the controversy. The incident raised concerns about the willingness of Western companies to capitulate to Tencent's demands in order to maintain their access to the Chinese market. Censorship is another area where Tencent's influence has been raising concerns. TikTok, which is owned by Tencent, has been criticized by censoring content that's critical of the Chinese government. The app has also been accused of censoring content related to Hong Kong protests and the treatment of Uyghur Muslims in China. These concerns have led some governments, including the United States, to consider banning TikTok. In recent years, the CCP has been extending its reach beyond China, seeking to establish greater control and influence over the global flow of information. The CCP's plan for global control is centered around several key strategies, including the banning of Western social media sites and the use of Chinese companies like Tencent to carry out technological attacks in the West. One of the most visible aspects of the CCP's plan for global control is its ban on Western social media sites and the creation of the Great Firewall of China. The firewall is a massive network of censorship and surveillance tools that the Chinese government uses to control what its citizens can access online. The CCP has been banning popular Western social media sites like Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, claiming that these sites are harmful to Chinese culture and society. Instead, CCP has been encouraging Chinese citizens to use domestically owned social media sites like WeChat, which is owned by Tencent. Tencent and other Chinese companies are central to China's technological attack on the West. Through their ownership stakes in foreign companies, Chinese companies can gain access to vast amounts of personal user data, which they can then use to further their own interests. As mentioned previously, Tencent has stakes in Reddit, Discord, and big game developers like Riot and Epic Games. The CCP's plan for global control is not limited to censorship and surveillance, as though I wish it were. Chinese companies like Tencent are also investing heavily in the development of cutting-edge technologies like artificial intelligence and quantum computing. These technologies have enormous potential to transform the global economy and society, and the CCP sees them as a key to China's continued rise as a global superpower. Through their investments in these technologies, Chinese companies are positioning themselves to compete with and potentially surpass Western companies in key industries like finance, healthcare, and transportation. So, to conclude everything, Tencent's global expansion and influence poses dangers for the rest of the world. As discussed, Tencent's strategy for global dominance includes controlling foreign companies, using ownership stakes to influence and censor public opinion, and censoring content on its platforms like WeChat and TikTok. Furthermore, Tencent's acquisitions of Reddit and Discord raise concerns about the impact of its investments on these platforms' content moderation policies and the potential risks of Tencent's ownership of user data. In addition to Tencent's actions, the Chinese Communist Party, CCP, has a plan for global control. Chinese companies like Tencent play a crucial role in this plan by facilitating China's technological attack on the West and potentially accessing user data from millions of people on social media sites. And a cliché, but knowledge is power. Therefore, it's essential to be aware of the potential dangers of Tencent's global expansion and influence and exercise caution when you deal with the company and other Chinese companies. Governments and individuals have to take steps in order to protect their data and prevent censorship and propaganda from foreign actors. The world must strive for an open and fair digital environment that respects human rights, privacy, and freedom of expression, irrespective of the political and economic interests of any one company or country. And that's it for today. So if you liked the video, please subscribe to The Seeker's Edge. Until next time, later. And I don't know, I'm gonna go take a drink to take the edge off. It's too early for that, I'm kidding.